Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha,
yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
muchyante sarvakilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarvakilbishaihi,
bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last few sessions, we have been seeing the principle of Devaha. Devaha means God, one who is divine. And we've also been seeing how to apply this principle in our sadhana. That is the key focus. We generally gather information without any relevance to our practical living. The mind generally has the habit of simply collecting information and being happy with that. Today, whom do you call as a knowledgeable person? One who has just collected a lot of information. But if you take our yogic approach, that is not considered to be true knowledge. It is only borrowed knowledge. See, a parrot can repeat whatever you say. But what does the parrot lack? When you say something, there is the bhavana. You know in and out about what you're saying. That is your experience. Whereas when the parrot is repeating the same words, it doesn't mean anything to the parrot. Supposing you use the word sorrow. Now let's say the parrot also says sorrow. Now the parrot really does not understand what that means. There is no practicality there. If you say love, the parrot will also repeat it, let us say. But what does that word love mean to you, and what does that word love mean to the parrot? Think about it. So if you merely read from these scriptures and you're repeating them mechanically, then you're also like the parrot, just repeating what is being given. That is why in our Shastras, in the Sanatana Dharma, they emphasize a lot on prashna. Prashna means question. Questioning doesn't mean questioning with an arrogant attitude or doubting this and, oh no, come on, say, what is this? What is it? It's not like that. Questioning means, see, sometimes you may not understand the logic, then you question. Sometimes you may understand the logic, but you don't know how to practice it, how to live it. There also you have to ask. You have to seek guidance. You have to do sadhana. Pari prashnena. Later on, he'll be saying, pranipatena. See, how do you gain the wisdom? He says, when you approach a guru, he says, pranipatena, means you bow down at his feet. Doesn't literally mean that. See, these things are very figurative. Bowing down means being very humble so that you receive. Pari prashnena, questioning. Questioning with the right bhavana. One is to understand and intellectually, and the other kind of questions is to practice what has been understood. Because sometimes you may understand all this, but when you practically do it, you will find it very difficult. So you try, and when you're facing a real block, then you take guidance. This is something which I'm unable to overcome. What should I do? If the Guru sees that if you put in more effort in the same direction, you will be able to overcome the block, then he may not give you a verbal answer. He may say, continue doing your sadhana. If he feels, no, there is a real block and that has to be addressed, he may give some tip. Sometimes he may not give some verbal tip, but he may give some healing to help you to break the blocks, the mental blocks. So many ways of answering are there actually. But it all comes from the seeking first. So when we are studying these concepts, these principles, for example, the principle of Devaha. Devaha means gods. Now, just to merely know that gods represent this, gods represent that, or these are the various gods, starting from the supreme God, formless reality, then you have the direct manifestations of that supreme reality, the Trinity and various goddesses, and then you have the lower gods, gradation. You know all this. So how has your life changed now? You're still having the same anger, irritation with your spouse. Just an example I'm giving. Because generally, what we do is, whatever irritations we gather from life, we tend to offload it on somebody who is close to us. Generally, it is a spouse or children. Something may have happened in the office that would have irritated you. You will not show the anger there. You will go and show the anger to your spouse. So, there is no use of an information if you are unable to put it into practice and transform your life. This is another rule or another principle of the yogic approach. An information which is not made practical by you is not considered to be useful. It is worthless. There is no difference between a piece of information in a book and a piece of information which you have gathered but you are not practicing. It's one and the same only. See, supposing there's a lot of money in the bank, not in your account, generally in the bank. What is the use of that to you? How much of amount do you have in your account? That is the key, no? Oh, I am having an account with this very prestigious bank. How much money do you have? Hardly a few rupees. Some basic minimum only you have put. But you feel so proud that I am an account holder of a particular bank. Is there any meaning to this? So just because you have now, gained a lot of information about yajna, different aspects are being covered very, very carefully. We are wading through this subtle wisdom, because it's not so simple. It's not so simple to go deep and eke out these divine messages. So that tapas is being done for you, and it is being given to you in an easily digestible form. But even there, you need to pick it up and you need to practicalize it. Food is useful to you only if you digest it properly and get nourished, get the nourishment from the food. Merely having a lot of food in front of you doesn't mean anything. What's the difference between having food on your dining table in front of you and having the same food is there in the hotel or somewhere else? What is the difference? Nothing. It's only when you eat it, it makes a difference to you. So what we are doing every Sunday is to take up different aspects of this wisdom, and that external help is being given to practicalize it. In the good old days, the capacity to do tapas, the capacity to meditate was much higher. The quality of the mind, that is, I'm talking of the quality to meditate, to penetrate, all this was very high. But today there is a deterioration. That is because of the Yuga Parivartana. It is said that in Kali Yuga, these faculties will deteriorate. So that is a time when more help is required, which is what is being provided. Because ultimately, with or without help, it all depends on one's capacity. If you are able to penetrate, take all these messages and practicalize, internalize everything and practicalize it in your life, now that will completely elevate you spiritually. So as a setup, when we look at the setup of every Sunday, having these sessions and all that, the help is being provided. But exactly how much will you benefit depends on you, how you use all this. See, even the Yoga Sankirtan material, so much of effort is being put in, and the help is being given. Now, how you make use of that depends on you only. So that is why he is giving this in the form of instructions. May you nourish the gods by this. You only have to do it. It's like, see what these great gurus, all these masters do is that they collect all the wisdom, they do all the tapas austerities, and they collect all the wisdom, and then they present it to us. All we have to do is to eat and digest it properly. That also we are not willing to do. It's like a mother cooking so much of dishes, wonderful food with a lot of love and affection, and serving their children, her children. All the children have to do is to eat and enjoy. It's not mere food with that love and affection, that makes a lot of difference. Similarly, these great masters, yogis, they have given out this wisdom for our sake with so much of love and affection. So the least we can do is to absorb that fully. Do our sadhana on a daily basis and practicalize all this. So when we are seeing this principle of Devaha, the fundamental principle is how to become more and more divine till you reach that highest state of Param Shreya, which is 100% divinity. That is the very goal. That is the very path also. The path is to become more and more divine, and the goal is to become divine in an infinite sense. So how do we do that? It is only by recognizing the play of divinity in each and every experience that you can get connected to divinity. When you are going through the various experiences of life, your mind gets completely caught up in the quagmire of these experiences. They are so intense. The nature of each experience is so intense, and that intensity completely pulls you in. Like how the fire pulls the moth, and you get completely lost, you get completely enmeshed. The result of this is that you get disconnected from divinity, from the infinite. So, instead of asking you to leave all this, which anyway you cannot do, you may leave something physically, externally, but to leave something mentally is the biggest challenge. It's the greatest challenge. Sometimes some people in the name of spirituality, they try, okay, now I will give up all wealth. Their minds run after wealth maximum, I've seen this. Even in the Himalayas, I have noticed some people, not everyone, but some, who have artificially given up everything. Now, the moment some visitor, so-called worldly person, comes there, they just kind of pounce to see what they can get from that person. Very interesting. So when we talk of transformation, we are not talking about merely at the physical level or external level. We are talking about transforming the mind, plucking the mind from all these and directing it to the higher, directing it to the infinite. So when the mind is constantly running to so many things, now how can you withdraw it and think of the infinite? How can you focus the mind on the infinite? The more you try, the more you will fail, because you are already in it, in the world. It's like a ball, Supposing you stand on the top of a staircase, you have not yet thrown the ball, you can now hold it. Supposing you drop it. Now, first step you try to catch it, may be possible. Second step itself, it becomes very difficult because it will jump a few steps and go down. Third step and all, you just can't hold it. It will pick up momentum and it will run away from you. That's the nature of your mind. So our great masters were wonderful psychologists too. Psychology is an aspect of yoga. Because what is ultimately psychology? It's a study of psyche, the mind. And what do we do in yoga? The relative aspect of yoga is to gain mastery over one's mind only. Terminologies and all may vary between modern psychology and yogic psychology. But ultimately, what they are dealing with is one thing only. That is the mind. So these great masters devised another way. The ball has already gone out of your control. So don't try to now catch it by being behind it. Instead, where is the ball going? In that, see, there's a momentum which it creates, and that momentum it's running, right? So you understand now, okay, the ball is going in this direction. Now you go to that place in order to collect the ball. That will be much easy. So they analyzed, where all does the mind go? The mind goes to wealth, the mind goes to relationships, the mind goes to success, the mind goes to knowledge, like this various places. Now they have taught this technique of seeing the manifestation of that infinite divinity in all these aspects. See, it is not that wherever the mind goes, now they created an imaginary concept and they planted a god. Many people understand it that way. That is not true. Then it's just a concept. It's an imaginary thing, No. In our Shastras, they have said there are 33,000 crores of gods or something like that. It's a huge number. It's not that's not defined. It's actually 33,000 crore types. Because if you see the whole cosmos, if you see the Bahyaloka, Antarloka, everything, it is actually infinite in nature. So any aspect, whether it's external world or internal world, when it is divinized, we call it as Divya. Divya means where the Devaha, the divine element, has been invoked. It's been divinized. So that is why millions and millions of gods. So the various gods are nothing but manifestation of that one supreme God, that Param Shreya. That one supreme God is formless. Many people say in Hinduism, so many gods are there whom to worship. That's why there is no unity and all that. Actually, there is nothing called Hinduism. That came, that word I'm talking about, that word was coined much later only. It's actually Sanatana Dharma. Dharma means principles. In Tamil we say Aram. Aram means righteous principles, Dharma. Now, why so many gods? Actually, there are no different gods. There is only one God. And that supreme God is called Brahman in Sanskritam. In several other religions, they may have used different names for that. It doesn't matter. The name does not matter. Anyway, that supreme God is a nameless one. A name actually relativizes that. That which is infinite, that which cannot be understood, that which cannot be felt, that which cannot be seen, that which has no name, that is that supreme infinite. Even when we use the word infinite, we are actually bringing it down a little bit. So how do you experience that supreme God? Just be quiet and get into that divine silence. That's the end of all the sadhana. In that deep, deep silence, there is no you experiencing divinity. Everything, you just merge with that divine and everything becomes divine. So the different gods are only manifestations of that one supreme reality. So our rishis saw the whole cosmos as a manifestation of that one supreme reality, of that one God. So for each manifestation, they considered that particular power, that Shakti, and gave that power a name. They learned how to tap that. So when the supreme reality manifested as fire, they called the fire as fire god, Agni Deva. When it was as water, they called it as Varuna Deva, that manifestation. So you should understand the power of creation. When the infinite manifested as a power of creation, that power was called Brahma. When the same infinite manifested as a power of maintenance, that supreme power was called as Vishnu. Like this. So, whenever we use gods in plural, understand that we are not talking of different gods here. See, when you understand them as different gods, then only all this quarrel happens. Even among these devotees of gods, there is so much of quarrel, no? Is my God better or your God better? No, first of all, what is the meaning of my God, your God? God means one who's common to everyone, no? One person was asking me, sir, is the South Indian God better or North Indian God? There is nothing like South Indian God, North Indian God and all that. God means one who is beyond all this, beyond all these differences and limitations. So when there are so many gods, whom should I worship? Worship is always of that one supreme reality only. There are no so many gods. They are only different manifestations of that one supreme reality. This is what our great yogis, our great siddhas of the past, they experienced. And that is the wisdom which is called as Sanatana Dharma. So Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. All religions came later. Sanatana Dharma is pre-religion. If there's a phrase like that, it existed before religion started. Because they are just principles. So different manifestations, hence in quotes I am putting different gods. But as a sadhak, there is no confusion. Which God should I worship? When you worship Ganesha, you are worshipping that one supreme reality through Ganesha. When you worship Muruga, you are worshipping that one supreme reality through Muruga. When you worship Narayana, you are worshipping that one formless reality through Narayana. What is a confusion? There is no confusion at all. There is nothing to quarrel about. That is why some yogis said, all gods are ultimately one. It is very interesting. In the Puranas, it is said that Vishnu and Shiva are equals. Now again there is so much of debate that equal doesn't mean one and all that. It is a mind which keeps creating all these differences. Last week I had mentioned to you, the ego always wants to separate. So whatever quarrels and whatever differences we have in our day-to-day living, we also project our minds to the gods and create differences there. But this is a beautiful sadhana principle which was given out by our ancient masters. If you can directly focus on that one supreme infinite reality which is formless, then all these things are not required. But can you practically do it? The moment you sit and try to focus the mind runs everywhere. That is an advanced practice. It's like PhD. Minimum qualification is master's degree, no? When you're, let us say, at 5th standard level, you can't say, I'll directly do PhD. Supposing a boy says, from LKG I have to do up to 12th, whatever, that high school, and then I have to finish BS or some undergraduate degree, and then I have to do master's degree. After that I have to do PhD. Instead of all this, straight I will do PhD. You think anybody will accept? Will be completely rejected. It doesn't work like that. So that is why we call this a Shastra. Shastra also means science. There are so many meanings to it. One of the dimensions is science. And later on, Lord Krishna will be saying, Shastrameva Pramanam. How do you know whether whatever you're doing is right or wrong? He says, what should be the reference? He says, Shastram. Our scriptures are the references. Because scriptures are not random utterances by somebody. It's not like that. These were all great scientists, inner scientists, who meditated, who did a lot of tapas, and then they gained the higher wisdom and they've given it to us. So seeing that manifestation of that one supreme reality in the Brahmanda Loka, number one, and then in the Bahya Loka, the outer world, and the Antar Loka, in the inner world, that is the sadhana. That is one essential aspect of yajna. And a person who has successfully mastered this principle, now that person becomes 100% divine. When he is having his eyes closed, the inner world he sees that as an expression of divinity. When he is functioning in the world, let us say he is acquiring wealth, again he will acquire it in a divine way, whatever it is. And when he is relating to the cosmos, again he will see it as an expression of divinity. Such a person is a sthita prajna, one who is established in this wisdom. So per se there is nothing right or wrong about anything. It is how you approach. We can't classify something as worldly and spiritual based on externality. For example, acquiring wealth. Is it worldly or spiritual? It all depends on your bhavana. When you approach it in a divine way, then it becomes a spiritual activity. When you approach it in a non-divine way, it becomes a worldly activity. Study of scriptures, is it a spiritual activity or is it a worldly activity? If your approach is not correct, this will also become a worldly activity. I know many people who study many scriptures and their egos get boosted. They feel, I know more than others. I am now knowledgeable. I have the knowledge of the scriptures. Then it's no longer a spiritual activity. So, as a sadhak, this should be very, very clear to you. That is, there is one supreme God, what he calls as Param Shreya, the highest good, the highest divinity. Now that manifests into various gods. Everything is an expression of that one divinity. Where all does it manifest? In the three levels. That's what we saw in the last few sessions. The Brahmanda Loka, the cosmic world, the Bahya Loka, the outer world, and Antar Loka, the inner world. So sometimes when you do your sadhana and get into this frequency, as you start growing, then you will understand that a special prayer is not required, because even your innermost thought is an expression of that divinity only. See, God is infinite, so subtle, and that supreme power is present even before your thoughts. So every thought, every desire, every emotion is sensed by that infinity, is registered there. Then your prayer becomes even more subtle. See, initially when you don't have this concept, when you consider God as something only external, then you will do a lot of external rituals, thinking that I'll have to please God. People have various beliefs. I'm not saying those beliefs are wrong and all that, but they all have a place in spirituality depending upon one's level of growth. But as you start evolving spiritually, then it is not about how much of prayers have you verbally told, or what have you done here. It is about your recognition of that divinity in everything, whether it is a gross expression or whether it is a very subtle expression like a thought. Then that is called para bhakti, the higher form of bhakti. So as a sadhak, you should aspire to move to that level. Okay, so last week we did see the application of gods in the three worlds. So Brahmanda Loka, the forces of nature; outer world, the various goals which you have, your pursuits; and then the inner world, the good qualities of self-purification, which define, which are a part of self-purification and self-development. So nourishing gods from the personal inner world, with respect to the inner world, is nothing but putting in effort to overcome your weaknesses and nourishing your positive divine qualities. Every day, every moment, that war is going on within you. The Mahabharata war is not merely external. That same war is happening within you all the time. The demons are also within you, the negative qualities. The gods are also within you, the positive quality. Now, what are you nourishing? That is the question. Bhavayata means nourishing. When a negative thought surfaces, you go on indulging in that, then you are doing the opposite. Sometimes when you face a particular problem, now you get so hooked on to that problem that you're constantly thinking about the problem and complaining. And each time you generate a thought towards a problem, that pulls your energy further down. So you should first do that homework and start becoming aware of what is happening within you. So you're standing in the center, let us say. So here are the negative qualities. Here are positive qualities which are divine. Now, depending upon what you nourish or encourage, that will start increasing. So whenever you face a problem, that is where the real test comes. Problem means it can be in any area. It can be a financial issue, it can be an issue with respect to relationships, It can be a health issue. Supposing you have a pain somewhere. You observe your mind. 24/7 the mind keeps on thinking about the pain. Then what is it that you're nourishing? You're nourishing that thought, that negative thought about the pain only. So what do? You need to substitute it with the opposite of that. This is what the great master Patanjali said. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, what he says is that, very interesting, it is not by negating a negative thought that you can overcome it. It is by asserting a positive thought that you can overcome the negative. That is the same principle here. Yesterday, see, these great masters, whether it was Patanjali or whoever it is, they all took it from this these shastras only. Because shastrameva pramanam. It is these scriptures which are the ultimate authority. So you have these negative thoughts, you have these positive. I am simplifying it. Positive thoughts is what we call as divine thoughts. That which takes you towards the ultimate divinity. So there is a gradation there. More positive, more positive, more positive. These are the gradation of various God. Then finally the highest good, which is the infinite. So at every moment you have a choice. Either you can nourish the negative forces within you, or you can nourish the positive forces within you. Now what are you choosing? That is the question. The negative forces will try their best to pull you away. And generally you fall a trap to that. One negative thought you encourage, now 1 becomes 10, 10 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1000. I told you, no, that's the meaning of Rakta Bija, that demon. When you kill Rakta Bija, 1 drop of blood falls down on the ground, now that becomes several Rakta Bijas. That is why in the pictures and all you would have seen where the goddess is holding Rakta Bija's head after cutting his head, and she's holding a vessel there so that the blood doesn't fall on the ground. Rather, it is arrested here. It's symbolic. It is an inner battle which they are depicting externally. See, what is happening outside is also happening inside. If there is a Brahmanda Loka, there is an Antarloka also, corresponding Antarloka. As sadhaks, we are concerned about what is happening inside. So, arresting the blood from not dropping on the floor and multiplying is this sadhana. Not encouraging the negative thoughts and allowing them to multiply. So whenever you face some problem in life, immediately do some deep breathing. Bow down to the Guru Shakti, invoke the Guru Shakti, because see, when you go and take guidance from the Guru Shakti externally, from the Guru outside, that time he may guide in different ways. But when you're all alone by yourself, for what is happening inside, what guidance can be given at that time? Guidance will be given. The Guru Shakti functions there also, provided you get connected. So you invoke the Guru Shakti, do some deep breathing, and you should release that momentum which is getting created and making your mind move towards the negative thought more and more. This is especially when you are facing a problem. I am giving you a practical application, a very important sadhana application, because many sadhaks have raised these questions as to what we should do when we are facing a lot of issues and our minds the mind is running helter-skelter. This is what you need to do. You need to decrease the momentum of the flow of your mind in the negative direction and substitute it with the positive divine quality. Let us say your mind is experiencing fear, for example. Now if you merely say, I should not fear, your fear will increase. Not by mere negation. Instead, you invoke the Guru Shakti and do the deep breathing. Neither encourage the fear nor try to avoid it. Just simply do the deep breathing, that will get released, and immediately substitute it with a thought of confidence. Whatever the opposite is. This is the antar sadhana. Application of this principle in the antarloka is called antar sadhana, the inner sadhana. As a sadhak, you need to master this. If you keep on doing this, after a while, you will find that the so-called unruly mind will start coming under your control. Initially, there will be a lot of difficulties. I'm not saying overnight you can master this. There are yogis who go on, practicing this for years together in order to master. But every day you will keep improving. It all depends on what your past karmas are, what is your present level, and how fast you're moving. So may you nourish the gods by this. Even though I've explained it at different levels like cosmic world, outer world, now the real sadhana is with respect to the inner world called the antar sadhana. So how do you apply it there? This is what I've dramatized and explained it to you. The negative forces are here, the Kauravas within you, and the godly forces are also there within you. Incidentally, the highest good, Param Shreya, is also within you only. Krishna is also within you. The ultimate infinite reality is within you. The Antarloka is complete by itself. It is a complete manifestation of that supreme reality. So it is by the process of self-awareness and self-observation you can easily find out how your mind is running. When you don't have this habit of self-observation, then you will not know where your mind is going. It will just keep going somewhere. So you can take this as a homework. When I'm giving these homeworks, is not restricted to that week. You can practice it throughout your life. That is, locate some issues which you're having today, which are bothering you today. Let it be any issue, a financial problem or a health issue, relationship issue, career issue, whatever it is. Now, what you need to do is, today you're thinking that issue is what is bothering you, but it is not that issue. It is your mind's attachment to that issue which is bothering you. It is your own mind which is bothering you. This is what I want you to observe. It's a very good homework, because that is the first step towards practicing this. Here he is just simply saying, may you nourish the gods by this. It looks so poetic, inspiring, but how are you going to practically do it? First, you have to see how you are nourishing the opposite of God, that is the negative forces within you today. So for that, you need to learn to stand apart from your problems. This is the first step. Instead of thinking that that problem is bothering me, now understand that it is your mind, the untrained mind, which is getting attached to the problem which is bothering you. If you are successful in observing this, it is a very good thing. 50% of your problem will get solved. Because you've learned to separate yourself from the problem. So that's what I told you, I think it was in the last session only I mentioned. Somebody comes and says something negative to you. Instead of saying that person, it is because of that person that I have got affected, your mind allowed that person's thoughts to enter you. You have allowed those thoughts to enter you. So the moment you understand this, you begin to see this. You take up one area first and see this. Actually, you will be amazed to find that everything is nothing but the play of your mind only. Let everything remain as they are. Where all your mind is getting attached, that is where all problems start. The situation being the same, it is the reactions of your mind which is bothering you. Rather, the situation bothers you only when the mind gets attached. So, the solution, the real solution is in first holding the mind and directing. So, that is the first step. Then the second step is ask yourself, what is the opposite of this negative thought? For example, let's say there is a particular disease you have and the mind is constantly running towards the disease. Now, what is the opposite of disease? Health. You can even become more specific. If you have a disease pertaining to that particular organ, then you can visualize the positive opposite energy of that. And the next step is start asserting the positive. I am healthy. So this is not merely verbally, but bhavayata, means from your deepest core you should do it. Because some people, they just externally practice this. Supposing they have some disease. They say, I am healthy, I am healthy. Only the lips are saying I am healthy. The mind is still attached to the disease only. One person long back, he came to me and said, Sir, I tried to think positive and all that, but my problem is only worsening. I asked him what happened. He said, see, I had a lot of debts, financial debts. So I thought, okay, let me practice whatever you're saying. So I started saying, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. But the more I say that, my debts have increased now. So why is it? So then when we scanned his energy pattern, I could see that he was only verbally saying, I am rich, I am rich. But internally, at the subconscious level and the deeper levels of the mind, the energy which was flowing was the energy of being poor or whatever debts which he had. The opposite negative force. So that was only becoming a reality. So I told him, okay, right now in front of me, I want you to close your eyes. Say, I am rich to yourself, mentally. And then I want you to observe what your mind is telling you. So you say, I am rich. What is the reaction of your inner mind? He said, sir, how to find out all this? I said, don't worry. That's why I'm giving you a little bit of healing there so that you can go a little deep. So do it with that faith. It's not so difficult. So he tried that genuinely. He closed his eyes and started repeating, I am rich inside. And then suddenly he opened his eyes. He said, my God. I said, what happened? So do you know what my inner mind is telling me? The inner mind is asking back, are you mad? Are you crazy? This is the reaction of the subconscious mind and the deeper layers of the mind. Which means he is saying this, I am rich, I am this thought is at a superficial level. His inner mind is not accepting that. There is that bhava is not there. So he said, now I've understood. I have not really practiced what you're saying. I am just practicing it at a very superficial level. I said, exactly. This is what you need to master. The Yoga Sankirtan sadhana every day will purify you, will help you practice this and master the sadhana of bhava. It's called bhava sadhana. Bhava sadhana means mastering your bhava, mastering your intention. A yogi's power comes from his intentions only. So you can easily achieve that. When I am saying easily, see, anything when it is achieved, it looks easy. But till you achieve it, it will be a struggle only. So immediately don't send me questions saying, sir, you are just saying easily do it. But you know how difficult we are finding, and we understand all that. But it is through practice that you can gain mastery over this. So take it up as your homework and start practicing this. Go as deep as possible. You can only do it to your capacity. And then when you do your daily Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, it will increase your penetrativeness. You know, in the next Yoga Sankirtan sadhana material, that is of Lord Hanuman, Sri Hanumat Dhyana, there are 5 different energies which are going to be invoked. It's like, it's not one Hanuman actually, it's 5 Hanumans. Each represents one divine energy. And one of that is called Nirvedhanjaneya. Nirveda means that capacity to penetrate. You must have seen this photograph of Panchavaktra Hanuman. Panchavaktra means 5 faces, you know. One will be of Lord Hanuman himself, other will be of Narasimha, another will be of Garuda, then Hayagriva, and then one face will be that of Varahamurti, the boar manifestation of Lord Vishnu. Now, what is the meaning of all this? That we are going to, when that Yoga Sankirtan material comes out, you will understand what is the true meaning of all this and what is the sadhana behind it, the tapas behind it, how to do sadhana with it. I'm not getting into that full thing now. Anyway, it will be explained to you later. The Varaha, the boar, represents that capacity to penetrate. A boar can keep, penetrating the earth, no? So internally, for a yogi, that represents the capacity to dig deep inside and burn up all the karmas. That is the energy called Nirveda Anjaneya. When you do the sadhana of Hanuman, that capacity of penetrativeness will increase. That is what it is. So every Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, the daily sadhana when you do, keeps on giving you so many benefits. One of that is it increases your penetrativeness. And using that, naturally, you will be able to go as deep as possible. First, it will be only the conscious mind. Then you will be able to penetrate the first layer of mind and get into the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind itself has several layers. Then you will go into the deeper mind, deeper mind, deeper mind. And you will start practicing this till you go to the deepest point and establish this principle of invoking divinity there. Then you will become divine, truly divine from within. This is the true sadhana of yajna, the antar sadhana. It's a very powerful process. So from where do you need to start? I've made it very easy for you. Locate some problem which is bothering you. Naturally see how deep you're able to go. Just observe your mind, the play of your mind. And then ask yourself, what is the opposite of this energy? If it is energy of fear, what is the opposite of that? If it is energy of sorrow, what is the opposite of that? It could be cheer. In your own words, you can describe that. Now start asserting that. First, it will be at the verbal level, lip level, like what happened to that sadhak, He said, I am rich, I am rich. What rich? When you're not feeling it, you're feeling only that you're having a lot of debts. And then simply just saying, I am rich is not the practice of this sadhana. So when you're able to penetrate and go deeper and deeper, this sadhana will start transforming you. That is true antar sadhana, the inner sadhana. It will make you divine from within. All the negative forces within you can be conquered only with this method. You have to put in that effort. The Guru Shakti will guide you. The Guru is always there to help you, to guide you. Even at the weakest moment of your life, remember one thing. You have a choice. Because when your problem engulfs you, the first thing you'll do is you'll stop doing the sadhana. You'll stop taking guidance. The ego will force you to move away from the Guru Shakti, from the path of the higher. But that is when you should remind yourself, I have a choice. A true sadhak will be able to choose and take higher guidance even at the weakest moment. That is a real test. If you fail to do that, then the negative forces will take over. And you will not even know where your mind is going. You will become a captive of the negative forces. Whereas if you follow this path, you will become divine day by day. You will become more and more divine. It is the path of divinity. So, may you nourish the gods by this. So, I've explained what gods mean, and now I'm giving you the deeper application of that with respect to the inner world. So, start practicing that. So, may you nourish the gods by this, and may the gods nourish you. Means when you work for a higher cause, the cause will protect you, will nourish you. Wherever you're putting in your efforts, that will come back to you with million times more force. For example, we saw the three lokas, no? So, when you nourish nature, nature will give its blessings to you. This is at the Brahmanda Loka level. When you go and disturb nature, now the nature will get disturbed, and what will you get back in return? You will get the curse, as it were. So blessing, curses are all done by ourselves only. When we do good things means not merely at the action level, right from thought level, we are actually blessing ourselves. When we encourage the negative forces within us, we are inviting a curse upon ourselves. Ultimately, it is you who is holding the key to your life. Remember this. So, may the gods nourish you. When you nourish nature, nature will protect you. Then at the external world level, we saw the various external goals. No? When you nourish your goals, what will happen? The goals will nourish you back. Supposing you put an effort and you pursue a particular goal and you fulfill that, now that will give you a lot of blessing benefits. It may be restricted in to that area, but it will give you some form of blessing. So wherever you have put in your hard work, you have acted in a smart way, you have consistently applied yourself, and you have nourished something, now that will give you back all its blessings. So this is the meaning. When I worship Lord Ganesha blesses me with success. Means when I put in that effort in the right direction, now that power of success will come back to me and bless me. Here when I'm saying I mean you. Don't think I'm telling you my story or something. There is nothing to tell that way. This is how you should start thinking. When you nourish Goddess Saraswati, means when you are willing to learn and when you keep on learning new things. New things means not unconnected things, where it's required. As I told you, I think it was the last session only I mentioned. Even in your office, if something you require to update yourself with some knowledge, means you need to be prepared to do that. It is your willingness. If you say, I can't do it, then don't expect the blessing back. If you nourish, then the gods will also nourish you. So pursue your goals in a sadhana way, in a divine way. Then you will get the divine blessings through your pursuits. Then the same thing with respect to the inner world also. Gods represent the inner good qualities, no, of self-purification and self-development. So when you nourish your positive inner qualities, your divine inner qualities, what will happen? These qualities within you will start growing and they will give you all their blessings. See, the ultimate blessing, I'm sure you will agree with this point without any block. That is, the ultimate wealth, the ultimate blessing which we can get is peace of mind. No? See, you may have everything else in the world, but if you don't have peace of mind, it will be hell for you. Even if you are put in heaven, it will be hell for you if you don't have peace of mind. Yes or no? That's why we say heaven and hell are mental states. And if you are put in any circumstance, if you are peaceful, then you are always in heaven only. So that is the ultimate blessing. How can you get that? It is by nourishing the inner positive qualities. I have given you that sadhana today. I have given you one application. First start practicing that. So the more you nourish your positive divine qualities within you, they will keep on growing, and what will be the blessings which you will receive? How will they nourish you? In the form of peace, happiness, inner clarity. All these things will start growing within you. So that is the meaning. May you nourish the gods by this, and may the gods nourish you. That's an automatic process. You give and you will get. We are only interested in getting, but we are not willing to pay the price. If you want something, you have to pay the price. Starting from here, we'll be seeing that principle of give and take, which is a very important principle of yajna, because that will be continuing in the next verses also, where he'll be explaining that aspect of yajna. It helps you to understand your life with more depth. Okay, so we'll stop with this here. In the next session, we'll go into more depth. What is this principle of giving and taking. That will be a base, that will form a foundation to understanding the coming verses. Because unless you understand that basic principle, you will not be able to get the deeper messages of the coming verses. So we will see all that as we go along. Okay, so before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. So a sadhak has asked this, Hari Om Yogishri, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The entire sadhana is based on the principle of yajna through your tapas. Okay, all the points have been put down. This is the YouTube section. So every time you express yourself there, a lot of blessings are being sent in the form of good wishes and the higher energy. So that's very nice. And what you have written is, after all the points you've written, I'll be more dedicated and increase my depth in sadhana, sir. So this was the first thought that came to me as soon as I woke up this morning. I want to follow certain things like fasting 1 day a week for Bajrang Bali, this Lord Hanuman. Actually it is Vajrang Balin. That is the Sanskritam word. That they started saying Bajrang Bali. We have used that powerful expression of Vajrang Balin in one of the, to invoke one facet of Anjaneya in the Yoga Sankirtan, and that has come out very, very powerfully, So that is why from now itself a lot of healing is being given. That's why I'm asking you to do your sadhana so that you will be well prepared to receive that. So I want to do fasting 1 day a week and then spend some time listening to Hanuman Chalisa every day. Not sure what else I can do to increase my tapas towards the November 10th release of the sadhana of Hanumanji. Can you please guide us towards this thought? Wholeheartedly thankful and grateful to Yogishri for your love, guidance, healing, for the Yoga Sankirtan series, Sunday discourses being online, etc., etc. So it's very nice that you want to get more prepared, that eagerness or that enthusiasm to get more prepared to receive the higher grace. Because ultimately, we only look for that, whether a person is willing to put in that effort. So as far as preparation for that November 10th event, that is the release of Sri Hanuman Dhyana is concerned, you don't need to do anything specially for that. See, if naturally you feel like fasting or Hanuman, that you do. But this is all after you do your daily sadhana, that Yoga Sankirtan and other empowerment, meditation and all, that you should do. No, more than that, if there is a natural inclination towards doing something like this, you can do. But it is not a rule as far as our preparation is concerned. Just ensure that whatever it is that you do, don't do it with that kartritva bhavana, I am the doer attitude. No need to be extra pressurized to get prepared to receive the higher energy and all that. That energy is there a little bit. So my request is, as a sadhak, you can look into it. Drop that I am the doer attitude. See how we function in the yogic path is that We just simply follow the way of these great masters, that's all. This is something which I have practiced and I'm just giving it to you. I've been told by masters. That is, just go behind these masters, that's all. They set the path for you. It becomes very easy. If you try to run ahead of the Guru Shakti in your enthusiasm, sometimes that can happen, then you will find it more difficult actually. It's better to be behind these great masters and just go behind them, whatever path, which is what is being laid out to you, the yogic path, the yogic approach to this ancient wisdom is being given to you. So do your daily sadhana every day, the yoga sankirtan and all that. A special healing is being given every Sunday. The nididhyasana session, meditation session will be preparing you more. More than that, no need to be over anxious about making it a perfect experience and all that. There is nothing like that. Oh, I want to be 100% prepared for it, 100% I want to. No need to become so anxious about it. So sometimes your enthusiasm, if you're not careful, your enthusiasm to do more can get you into a state of anxiety. So there is a saying, no, anxiety to sleep keeps you awake. So the anxiety to receive this energy can actually become a block. That's why you need to do your sadhana in a relaxed way. So if you naturally feel like fasting for a day, incidentally that has good health benefits. Your system gets detoxified. So do it happily. See, when you say, I want to fast for Lord Hanuman, there is nothing like that. You see, no God is asking you to fast and all that. You're doing it for your growth only, but you're dedicating it to the higher power. That I'm sure you're understanding. Similarly, listening to Hanuman Chalisa, whatever, it's a bhav. Like one sadhak has written that every day he just feels like sitting for 5 minutes naturally. After the yoga sankirtan sadhana, just for 5 minutes he's just sitting with his eyes closed and focusing on Lord Hanuman. It's something which is naturally coming to him, which has been coming to him even before this announcement, was made. That's what I'm saying. All sadhaks have been experiencing the energy because of the connection, to the Guru Shakti. It's amazing. So be very natural about it. Don't overdo it. See, when you're eating food, you should eat the right amount of food. It's not that if you eat more food, you will get more strength. Actually, that can be dangerous also. So ensure there is no anxiety or that over anxiety. Ensure that there is no kartritva bhavana. I am getting prepared. Drop off all that. Surrender to the higher Shakti. Surrender to the Guru Shakti. Let us be behind these great masters, then they will lead us. This is what we follow in the yogic path. In the Upanishads, the master makes amazing statements to unravel the message behind that one statement. Itself will take one whole lifetime. That kind of a deep statement he makes. And then it is, thus have I been told by my masters. See, he's just simply following the way of the masters. Doesn't arrogate anything to himself. That's a beautiful quality. Okay? So it is a bhav which matters. As long as you're doing your basic sadhana with a simple bhavana, with a simple humility and surrender, that itself is more than enough. The rest, we leave it to the higher. So do your part leave the rest to God. Okay? So, November 10th is going to be the release of Sri Hanuman Dhyana in live, and then subsequent week it will also be released online. I'll be specially sitting during that time and again giving the healing. So those of you who are not in India, many people have already planned and they are planning to come to Chennai at that time to attend this live. But if you are not able to do that, the online opportunity also will be provided. We are not doing a live transmission of this through the net because, as you know, this is a powerful meditation and healing and all that. We don't want any glitches, However much they say technology is great, this, that, developed and all that, we found that small glitches are very difficult to avoid. So we are trying to minimize that. Okay. So now we'll do Nitidhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. beyond this physical body, beyond this mind with various emotions and thoughts, lies my supreme higher self, deep, deep within me. My higher self is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to nourish the positive within me. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today we went into more subtleties, the actual practical application of this principle of Devaha, God's divinizing our entire being. So do that homework which has been given to you. That will prepare you when we get into further depth. So there is also that announcement about the empowerment program. So November 10th will be the release of Sri Hanuman Dhyana, and in the month of December we are having the empowerment program on attracting abundance. So this is going to be a very powerful program. 22 days. Different kinds of meditation, multiple empowerments will be given to you so that your whole energy field becomes so positive to be able to attract abundance. See, that is a fundamental seva or service we can do to the world by strengthening our energy field and making it very positive, so that anybody who comes to you will also get influenced by that positive energy, rather than you getting influenced by any negative energies. You will start radiating positivity, and that positive energy will automatically attract abundance, whether it is in the form of wealth or anything. That's very much necessary for you. So this is going to be a program where you'll be learning how to attract abundance in a sadhana way, not to merely get involved in wealth and get caught up with that. That is of no use. So many practical tips also will be given to you from the ancient wisdom about wealth creation, how to multiply it. So many things will be given, how to utilize it properly, What is the purpose of wealth? Everything will be covered. But the primary focus will be removing all those internal karmic blocks and making your energy field very powerful so that you will be able to attract abundance. One thing is to run behind wealth, then you will become a slave. Other is you stay where you are and attract. You stay where you are doesn't mean you don't put an effort. I'm talking of a mental thing. See, everything of this can be misunderstood. So, I am forced to think in so many ways. How all can you misinterpret? And then that is also being covered just to be on the safer side, Yet, the amazing talent which all of you have is, in spite of all that, you come up with innovative ways of misunderstanding this. So my request is, understand these principles in a simple, straightforward way. Okay? So, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.